What was supposed to be a simple traffic stop turned into one of the most disturbing discoveries this quiet town had ever seen. 2 bodies, hidden in the trunk of a car, driven by a woman who looked like she had nothing to hide. But as officers dug deeper, they uncovered a twisted obsession that ended in tragedy. Stick with me, because this case only gets darker the more you hear it. Welcome back to True Crime Memories, the place where real stories grip you from start to finish. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a case like this. And while you're watching, drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know, at what point in this story do you think you would have realized something wasn't right? It was a little after 9 p.m. on a Thursday night in Maplewood, a quiet suburban town where the most dramatic thing that usually happened was a cat getting stuck in a tree. Officer Miguel Hernandez was patrolling the east side of town when his headlights caught a faded blue sedan up ahead. The right taillight was busted, not unusual, but the driver seemed off. The car drifted slightly in its lane, then overcorrected. Miguel decided to pull it over, thinking maybe the driver was tired or had been drinking. The sedan slowed, then rolled to a stop just under a flickering street lamp. Miguel walked up to the driver's window and was met by Alana Brooks, a 34-year-old woman with messy brown hair pulled into a loose bun. She was gripping the steering wheel so tightly her knuckles had gone pale. "Evening, ma'am. License and registration, please." Alana didn't look him in the eyes. Her voice was low, almost shaky. I left my license at home." Miguel noticed her breathing was fast. There was also a faint, sour smell in the air, something he couldn't quite place at first. Miguel asked where she was headed. Just home," she said, her eyes darting briefly to the rearview mirror, not at Miguel, but at something behind her. That's when he noticed it. In the back seat, a large blanket was draped over something bulky. The shape underneath wasn't uniform. It had strange lumps, like whatever was under there didn't belong. Miguel kept the conversation casual, but in his gut, he knew something was wrong. He stepped back to his patrol car to run the plates. The car was registered to Daniel Wright, not Alana Brooks. Before he could radio dispatch, he heard a faint thud from inside the sedan. He turned. Alana's eyes were wide now, her breathing heavier. Miguel motioned for backup. Officer Lisa Carter pulled up minutes later. She walked to Miguel and quietly asked what was going on. Miguel explained the wrong name on the registration, the odd smell, the blanket in the back seat, and now the mysterious thud. Lisa decided to check the rear of the car. She leaned close, sniffing, and immediately recoiled. "That smell? You smell that too?" Miguel nodded. "Yeah, something's not right here." They asked Alana to step out of the vehicle. She hesitated, gripping the steering wheel again like her life depended on it. Lisa had to repeat the order, this time more firmly. When Alana finally stepped out, Miguel noticed her hands trembling. But not from the cold. She kept glancing at the trunk, like she was silently begging them not to open it. Before we continue, take a second to hit the like button if you're into true crime stories that keep you on the edge of your seat. It helps more people find our videos. And let me know in the comments, what do you think the police are about to discover here? Miguel took the keys from Alana and inserted one into the trunk's lock. The metal creaked as it lifted, and the smell hit them like a wall. Inside were 2 large black garbage bags, tightly tied at the top. The plastic was smeared with dark stains, and one of the bags had a small tear near the corner, just enough for Miguel to see pale human skin underneath. Lisa stepped back, gagging. "Oh my God," she whispered. Miguel's stomach dropped. "Dispatch, this is Hernandez. We have 2 possible DOAs. Requesting homicide detectives immediately." Alana just stood there, her face strangely blank, as if she'd been expecting this moment. It didn't take long for detectives to confirm the worst. The remains belonged to Daniel Wright, the man the car was registered to, and his 15-year-old daughter, Emily. Both had been reported missing 2 weeks earlier, after neighbors noticed their front yard piling up with uncollected mail. When the news broke, the town went into shock. Daniel was a beloved baseball coach. Emily was a straight-A student. No one could understand why this quiet, reserved woman had been driving around with their bodies in her trunk. So here's the question I want you to answer in the comments. Do you think Alana killed them out of sudden rage, or was this something she had planned for a long time? Alana wasn't a drifter. She wasn't mentally unstable, at least not on paper. She lived just 3 neighborhoods over from Daniel Wright. A quick background check showed she worked at a vet clinic, had no prior criminal record, and lived alone in a small rented house. Quiet, private, nothing out of the ordinary. But the neighbors described her differently. One called her friendly but intense. Another said she had eyes that always seemed to be watching. When detectives went to search Alana's house, they weren't prepared for what they were about to find. The front door was unlocked. The moment officers stepped inside, they saw photos. Hundreds of them, pinned to the walls, taped to mirrors, even stacked in piles on the kitchen table. And every single one of them was of Daniel Wright. Some were clearly taken from a distance, at the park, at a gas station, coming out of his house. Others were screenshots from his social media, printed and carefully laminated. Worse, there were photos of Emily too. One showed her walking into school. Another zoomed in, captured her riding her bike. On one wall, scrawled in red marker over a photo of Daniel and Emily hugging, were the words, "She's in the way." Detectives discovered journals, pages upon pages of writing, where Alana documented her relationship with Daniel. But here's the thing. They hadn't been together in years. Daniel had dated Alana briefly about 6 years earlier, a relationship that only lasted 3 months. According to friends, it ended because Daniel found her clingy and emotionally unstable. But in her journals, Alana wrote like they were soulmates, as if Daniel had been sending her secret signals, telling her to be patient, to wait. She blamed his daughter Emily for keeping them apart, writing things like, "He wants to be with me, but she controls him. Once she's gone, he'll come home." Phone records showed Alana had been stalking Daniel for over a year. She had created fake social media accounts to follow his posts. She had installed a hidden GPS tracker under his car, found by forensics after the vehicle was impounded. Surveillance footage from a nearby hardware store showed her purchasing duct tape, garbage bags, gloves, and a shovel, just days before Daniel and Emily disappeared. She even visited their neighborhood several times in the weeks leading up to the murder. Neighbors remembered seeing her parked near Daniel's driveway, sitting in her car for hours. According to phone pings, Alana was at Daniel's house the night they went missing. Detectives believe she waited until they were asleep, entered through the back door, which had no signs of forced entry, and drugged both victims with sleeping pills crushed into a bottle of orange juice she left on the counter. Toxicology reports later confirmed this. Daniel and Emily likely never even woke up, as she suffocated them with a plastic bag and duct tape. She then wrapped them in blankets, dragged their bodies to her car, and left them in the trunk. For 14 days, she drove around with their decomposing bodies in her vehicle, even took it to the grocery store, to the gas station, past their old street. When questioned why she didn't bury them or get rid of the car, her chilling response was, "I couldn't let them go yet. I was still deciding." If you're still watching, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. It helps this story get out to more people. And if you're shocked right now, comment below. What would you do if someone like Alana lived down your street? Would you notice the signs? Would you believe her capable of this? At the station, detectives spent hours trying to get Alana to talk. At first, she was silent. Then she started crying, then laughing. When asked if she killed Daniel and Emily, she said, "I saved them." She claimed Daniel had been suffering without her, that Emily wasn't supposed to live this long. She said it as if she believed she had rescued them, not murdered them. Detectives said it was the most disturbing interview they had ever conducted. Twist. When they searched her phone, they found drafted text messages written as if they were from Daniel. Messages she planned to send to herself to fake a reconciliation story. She never hit send. As soon as the story hit the news, bodies found during routine traffic stop, the town of Maplewood became the center of a media frenzy. News vans lined the courthouse. True crime bloggers, podcast hosts, and YouTubers flew in from around the country. Everyone wanted to know the same thing. Who was Alana Brooks, really? She didn't look like a monster. In fact, courtroom sketches of Alana in a beige blouse, hair neatly tied, no emotion on her face, went viral. Some called her the obsessed ex. Others labeled her mentally disturbed. But one thing was clear. She had captured the public's attention. Prosecutors wanted to move fast. The evidence was overwhelming. Forensic matches, surveillance footage, GPS trackers, journal entries, and of course, 2 bodies in the trunk. But Alana's defense team had other plans. They filed for a mental competency evaluation, delaying the trial and planting the seed in public opinion that maybe, just maybe, Alana wasn't entirely sane. The trial began 6 months after her arrest. The courtroom was packed. Cameras weren't allowed, but every detail leaked to the press within hours. The prosecution laid out a clear case. Premeditation, hardware store receipts, stalking behavior, journal entries. Execution, the drugging, the suffocation, the transportation of bodies. Aftermath, Alana driving around for 2 weeks with the remains. No signs of panic, remorse, or attempt to dispose of them. Their key line, she wasn't insane, she was in control, she just didn't care. Then came the defense, and this is where it gets twisted. They didn't deny that Alana killed Daniel and Emily, they embraced it, but they argued that she wasn't in control, that her obsession had become a psychotic delusion. They brought in a psychiatrist who claimed Alana suffered from delusional disorder, erotomanic type, a condition where someone believes another person is in love with them, despite clear evidence to the contrary. The doctor said Alana believed Daniel was trying to send her signals and that his daughter was blocking their reunion. She thought, in her mind, that killing Emily would fix everything. And then, they played audio from her psychiatric evaluation. In a calm voice, Alana says on tape, "I didn't kill them because I hated them. I loved him. I still do. He was mine, we were meant to be together, I just needed to remove what was keeping us apart." There was silence in the courtroom. Some jurors looked horrified. Others, unsure. For a moment, the defense had done it. They created doubt. Not about whether she did it, but about whether she was truly in her right mind when she did. Let me ask you something. If you were on that jury, after hearing that tape, would you vote guilty of murder, or would you believe she was mentally ill? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This case divided the entire courtroom. Let's see where you stand. And if you're watching and haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and tap that button. Just when the defense thought they had the jury swaying, the prosecution called one final witness, Daniel's older sister, Marissa Wright. She had been helping raise Emily since she was little. And her testimony was short, but it cut through everything. She looked Alana dead in the eye and said, "You didn't love my brother. You erased him. You erased my niece. And you kept their bodies in your car like they were trash. You knew what you were doing. You just thought you'd get away with it." The jury listened in silence. Several people, including one juror, were seen wiping tears. After 9 days of testimony and 3 hours of deliberation, the jury returned. Guilty. 2 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of desecration of human remains, 1 count of stalking. When the judge asked Alana if she had anything to say, she smiled. For the first time, and whispered, "Tell him I'll be waiting." She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So now it's your turn, and I really want you to think about this. Do you believe justice was served? Was Alana truly mentally ill, or just manipulative? Let's blow up the comment section. I want real opinions. Hit the like button if you made it to the end, and if this case shook you even a little, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget, True Crime Memories is just getting started. Tap that subscribe button, like and share a thing. Until then, stay safe, stay sharp.